Tesla has finally revealed the price of the Model Y Juniper in the United States. And this is not the launch edition. This is the standard edition. It is more expensive than the previous model. And I think that's fair enough. There's quite a few upgrades. So here is the price. Here are the details. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Just want to say a big thank you to our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Really appreciate you guys, and I'll have some new content coming up very soon. Tesla Model Y Juniper starts at $49,000, so technically $48,990 US. EV tax credits are still around in America, so if you qualify for that, which, well, most people do, you would get the car for around $41,500. But as you can see, the price has gone up. Buyers, though, do get improved suspension, ventilated seats, ambient lighting, a rear screen, and overall a much better car. It's quieter, it's a bit more efficient. Anyhow, Tesla fans were hoping for maybe lower prices than this, possibly, considering the previous model, the run-out model, was quite a bit cheaper than this. But I think at $49,000 US, I think it's actually a pretty good deal. Now, I should point out, Americans, they are cheaper now here in Australia, Model Ys, than they are in America. And that could be to do with the competition. Because you guys have blocked Chinese electric cars, well, you haven't completely blocked them. There is a one-for-one deal. The one-for-one deal means if you sell one car from America to China, China's allowed to sell one car from China back to America with no tariffs. So Trump made that rule in his first presidency. So you can technically get some Chinese electric cars, but not very many. But anyway, as a result of that, there's less competition in China. I mean, there's less competition in America. You know, you guys don't have to compete. Tesla has to compete with Chinese car companies in Australia, so they've brought the prices down. Anyhow, the fully loaded $60,000 launch edition based on the long range trim, while I believe that's no longer available, now there is a standard Model Y Juniper. That's in the US and Canada. So what's the difference in price? Well, it's $11,000 cheaper technically, but it's not really, because it doesn't come with all the standard paint options, which the launch edition did. And there's a few extra features the launch edition has standard, like wheels, that the Tesla Model Y, the normal edition, does not get. However, one of the main things the normal Tesla Model Y long range doesn't get, right, that the launch edition got, was the full self-driving beta package, which is worth $8,000, and the acceleration boost. So for $11,000, the launch edition was actually a pretty good deal. Anyhow, pricing in Canada is actually $69,990, and that equates to $48,500 US. So it's actually slightly cheaper in Canada than what it is in America. But it looks like Tesla has been blocked from all the subsidies in Canada. So obviously, if you qualify for those EV subsidies, you'll get the vehicle cheaper in America. If you want to get a lease, well, lease deals are not that good. $671 per month, zero down over 36 months with a 10,000 mile annual limit. So yeah, those prices aren't that great, really. By comparison, you can get a Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive for $542 a month, or less if you can get an inventory discounted version. Now, even though I guess it's technically more expensive, it's only $1,000 more expensive than the previous long-range all-wheel drive. It gets a little bit more range. It gets all those other extra features I mentioned before. It's definitely a much better car. It looks better as well. And I think the $1,000 is absolutely worth it. So it's a really, really good deal. And really, if you think about it, getting that new screen, a revised chassis, suspension components, rear passenger display, ventilated seats, improved sound insulation, ambient interior lighting, motorized rear seats, electric rear seats, and put all those things together. And I'm only mentioning a fraction of the things you get in the new version. I think it's absolutely worth getting it, upgrading if you wanted to consider upgrading. Now, in addition to that, you can also get additional EV incentives in some states. EV buyers in Massachusetts can get $3,500 rebate. This brings the price down to $37,990 for people in Massachusetts. There are other rebates in other states around America as well, so it's definitely worth considering those rebates. What are the specs? Well, the specs are decent. 327 miles of range. That's 526 kilometers. That's EPA. Here in Australia, it's rated at 555 kilometers of range. That's WLTP. So EPA range is actually probably pretty close to the real world. 0 to 100 or 0 to 60 miles an hour time is 4.6 seconds. That's with a rollout, so probably about 4.7 seconds. And it will do 125 miles per hour top speed. That's 201 kilometers an hour. To give you some perspective, you can buy a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. They're about $40,000 or $36,000 if you want to get the budget version. I actually think this is a much better deal. But there are other options. Of course, Hyundai's Ioniq 5 is a good car. The Ford Mustang Mach-E, there's some really good deals on the Mach-E. So yeah, I mean, those are definitely cars worth considering. But for my personal opinion is, if you're living in the United States, this is the best car in terms of all-around car, family car, car to fit your stuff in, fit your bikes in, whatever it may be. This is probably the best all-around car you can get right now, in my opinion. What else can you get? Well, you can pay more if you want to get different paint colors. Stealth Gray comes at no cost. That's the standard color. If you want pearl white or deep blue, you've got to pay $1,000. Diamond Black is $1,500 or $1,500. And Ultra Red and Quicksilver, they cost $2,000 US. The Glacier Blue color that we get in Australia and China, I don't think that's coming to America. You can inside you can upgrade the colors, right? So the seats come standard in black. You can get a white interior that costs $1,000. You can get a tow hitch, that's $1,000. And if you want, you can get 20-inch Helix wheels for another $2,000. Not worth doing. Don't do that. It's going to reduce your range down to 303 miles. So you're going to get 25 miles less range and just have to pay for more expensive tires. It doesn't make any sense. Plus, it'll be louder and less comfortable. So stick with the standard 19-inch wheels. They're a much better choice. Long-range all-wheel drive, $49,000. Long-range rear-wheel drive, I would expect will be close. The estimate based on the previous version, $1,000 more than the cost of the run-out model would mean it would be $45,990. So $46,000 for the rear-wheel drive version. That's the one I personally would be getting. I'd probably wait a month or two. I think the rear-wheel drive version will come soon, and that's $3,000 US cheaper, has one less motor, but you're going to get more range. You're probably going to get an extra 40 miles of range. I think it's absolutely worth it. Now, what about the performance? Well, the performance Tesla Model Y, we haven't seen the data on that, the specs on that yet, but I'm going to guess it'll be around $52,000 US based on the price of the existing run-out model. But yeah, like I said, we don't know when that's coming, probably within 6 months based on what I've been hearing for Tesla. But yeah, for me, the pick of the three here, it's the rear-wheel drive, which is obviously not on sale yet, but should be soon. The rear-wheel drive Model Y. But the all-wheel drive is also a good car. And of course, if you live in an area where there's wet roads quite often, a lot of snow, then the all-wheel drive could be the better choice for you. So guys, what do you think? Do you think it's a good car? Do you think it's good value for money? Would you consider buying a Model Y right now? I personally did cancel my order, but that wasn't because I don't think it's a great car. It is a really good car. But living in Australia here, there are now other options that are probably better value for money. I think the Xpeng G6 is one of those. It's better value for money in general. But you guys in America, you can't even buy those there. So that's not even on your radar. And I think this is actually a really good car. And Tesla have made some great upgrades. Of course, unfortunately, it hasn't come with some of the battery upgrades we were expecting, but it's still a much better car than the previous generation.